Hello and welcome back to the Flourgoldwizards channel. I'm Jason, that's Rigby. We're part-time gold prospectors based in Wisconsin. I came down to a particular location today with high hopes of running my sluice. It's been raining like crazy, but there's still no water here. It might be one of my spring spots only. So we will find some great gold today. Don't go away. Back in a bit. So my big plan was, I've been waiting for a nice rainstorm out in this part of the state to fill this creek up with water so I could run my big getting her done sluice here, because that thing I can pile material on there with that screen. But as you can see, there's still no darn water here. I mean, it's raining right now. But that doesn't mean we won't be able to find any gold. We just got to get a little more creative. So I think what we're going to do is find a good spot, locate the best source of gold that we can with a little bit of water close by that we can do some panning. I think my back's feeling great today, so we're gonna find said spot and do a little speed panning. You can still move quite a bit of material just with a pan, and especially that Garrett Super Sluice that I use. You can really pound through some material, and I'm not going to be looking for every single speck today. I think what I'll do is just get it down to, once I locate the gold, get it down to as close to black sand and gold as possible and throw it in a 5-gallon pail and get it out of here. I mean, there is just spot after spot after spot, and I've done really well here in the past, but it just gets a little funky down here in the summer when there's hardly any water. Little puddles like this really stink, and they're hard to find, even puddles like that in the summer. But there is a little bit of water here. I can dig a hole and have a decent panning station. And as you can see, all the way up this creek here, there are deposits everywhere. You look at some of these rocks here. These are all nice, heavy, shiny black rocks too. It's not all that sandstone and real late granite stuff. And it just keeps going and going and going. So there's definitely some spots that we can find to find some gold. So I think I'm going to head back, there he is, head back that way a little ways and get set up over there, because I know there's good gold. And it doesn't mean we're going to stay there all day, but I'd like to see something in the pan just to get me going. Back in a bit. One nice thing about having it so dry is you can really find some really cool rocks laying about that aren't covered up under all that muddy water. I mean, there's red rocks, blue rocks, green rocks, white rocks. It really affords you the opportunity to possibly find an agate or two. I mean, there's plenty of quartz around here. Little big ones, little ones, like this one here. What's that? Chris Lilly? Well, how in the heck did that get here? Get out of here, you. I think what I'm going to do first is, this hole wasn't here the last time I was here. You can see the water has absolutely stripped the landscape right there of rocks, pushing it down in this hole, chewing this hole out of here, and then forcibly coming up and depositing rocks over in that area there. See, there's hardly any gravels right in here, so it's really pushing through there and launching right up into here. So I'm going to guess that somewhere in here, there's a fine concentration of heavier material. It's obviously blowing the light wash sand up and out of there. You can see that what it's pushing out of there is lighter stuff, and it gradually gets bigger and then into these bigger cobbles right here that it can't push any further. So somewhere from there to there, there's going to be a heavier concentration of sand and gold. So I'm going to put my shovel to the test and see if I can't find something. I'm going to start right here, right in the middle of this pile. I'm going to dig that way. And I can pan right in that hole or somewhere and see if we can find something special before we get set up there. Back in a bit. All right, my hunch was right on the money. Dead right on the money. Except I started out down at this end here thinking that the good gold was going to be up that way just a little bit. So I wanted to start on the tail end. There's the little hole I dug in the really light looking small stuff. With a, you know, it's not just sand. It's kind of real coarse gravelly type mixture here. But we absolutely pounded it. That one pan right there, I just panned in that hole. I put it in my black pan. I have my glasses on. And there's close to 40 to 50 pieces of gold in there. Look at that. And some of them are, you know, they're not big, but they're bigger. I mean, it's scattered all over the place in there. Look at that. A lot of little tiny fine powder flour gold. But that might be my best pan ever, anywhere. For just one pan, first pan of the day. So I think I'm not gonna go upstream a little ways. Me and Rig Dog here, we're gonna set up camp right here. Before I do any more right here, I'm just gonna take a small sample pan or a big sample pan out of the hole that I'm working in right there, because that's where all my tailings are gonna wind up. And I don't wanna bury awesome gold if it's in there. So let me do that quick. And if I don't find anything in there, we're gonna get to work right here, because that is insane. Back in a bit. All right, here's a valuable lesson in test. I thought it was maybe a little bit too good to be true that I was getting gold out of that first pan like that. So I ran a couple of pans over there, and then I decided just to do a test quick before I, you know, invested my whole day right here. So I did another test pan out of that same hole, and I didn't find any gold in it. Not one piece. So I slid up here just a little ways, and I dug up and around and under this big rock right here. And I didn't find any gold in that one either. I think what's going on here is my pan was contaminated. My black pan was contaminated that I use at the shop to show my gold. And that's what's going on with that. Test. I'm embarrassed. But nonetheless, it's still early. I didn't waste the whole darn day here. I'm going up to where I originally wanted to go, because I know for a fact that there's good gold to be had up there. I don't know if there's quite as much water as I have here, but we'll make something happen. If not, there's a spot about 15 miles from here that I know has lots of water. Back in a bit. Well, now that that embarrassing display is over, we made it up to our original spot that I wanted to mine. Because I've been here a number of times, and I always do really good right here. Now, when I left off last, I was working this inside bend right here, right up tight to the bank, and it comes around. It's a real sharp inside bend. I'm going to do some test panning around in here. I'm going to dig a big hole right here for my panning area, and it's starting to rain a little bit higher. Maybe we can get a little bit of water in here yet. I think it's filling up. And I definitely want to test that outside bank right there. A lot of people in the comments tell me the outside banks is where you're probably going to find your biggest gold. It looks like it's all clay. There's no material as far as gravel's left on it. You can kind of see that right here. That is just solid, sticky clay. See that? So I don't know how much how much material is going to be on there, but there is some. And maybe I can get a little bit down from down in the bottom of the creek right here, where there might be a little bit. I don't feel any. All I feel is mushy clay. But somewhere in here, there's going to be a decent deposit, washing this bank out down in here and concentrating it somewhere. But I know for a fact that it's been concentrating gold right over in there. Well, we'll find it. Back in a bit. All right, I got a nice deep hole right there, dug out for doing our panning. I might even do a little classifying before I pan, see which one's easier. But before we do all that, it's time for a little break. Hey, Rig. Today's break is brought to you by Meat Skis, quality meats, mild beef sticks. Rigby approved. That's right. Back in a bit. For our first spot, I'm gonna try right dead smack in the middle of this creek right here, all right? Now I worked right up in there and I worked over there a little bit. So I just took a shovel right out of the middle right here. Let me take a look at the material. Now we go down about 3 to 4 inches of gravel sitting right on top of this impenetrable clay right here, okay? Nothing's getting through that. That's why it's still there. Same as that outside bank over there. Everything gets washed right off it and pushed down into the creek and kind of separated into heavies, lights, bigs, and smalls. So this first couple inches of material right here is what I'm looking for. It's always paid off in this particular creek. So it's just a matter of finding which way, left and right perhaps, is going to have the most black sand and gold. So I'm going to start right there and I'm going to work that way or that way, you know, whatever. That's how you do it around here. So let me get this son of a gun in a pan over there and we'll see if there's any gold in it. Back in a bit. All right, that pan right there had a couple of little pieces in there, a little absolute micro, super micro dots, but there's a nice piece in there. Look at that one. That's a nice piece. If I can get those all day, I'll be quite happy. You know, and there is some flour gold mixed in with that stuff. It's a little tough to see. I'm running out of drinking water to show the gold with here, so I'm going to save some of that. But there's definitely good gold here. We just got to find a little bit more of it. So I think we just got to get to work breaking our back. Back in a bit. All right, now I'm going to use my classifier a little bit just because there's so much darn clay here. I can quickly wash off the gravel and particulates from the big clay balls. But what I'm doing right now is just kind of scraping that top 3 inches like that, getting down to the clay. So that's where the gold's sitting here on top of that clay. I'll just throw it in my little homemade classifier here. It's quite a bit easier with 2 hands. You just get that one of them, and that's done. Dump. Repeat. I think I'll be able to pan through more material doing it this way than I will trying to separate all the rocks from the clay, etc. And I'll be able to get more gravels run through my system here than I would having to fight that clay. So that's what we're gonna do. Back in a bit. Well, it's pouring rain now, but this creek is not coming up. At least not yet. So I've been scraping off a pretty good area right here, moving some of these bigger rocks about and scraping that top 3 inches. And I've got almost a half a pail classified down. I don't want to put a whole lot more than that in there. Ooh, there's a leech. Yuck. I don't want to put a whole lot more of that in there. Otherwise, all that clay that's in there will compress and it'll be a big solid chunk of impenetrable by my hand clay. So I'm going to run that and see what we get out of it. Back in a bit. I just found my second Wisconsin picker. Wait till you see this. Look at this here. I'm not quite done. There's a little bit in the bottom of here that wouldn't smack out when I was panning it into here, and there's still some gold in there. But I saw these instantly. Look at here. Look at that. That's gold. That is awesome. Right from that spot over there, I was just thinking I'm getting out of here because it's too much work for not enough payoff, you know, with not being able to run my sluice. But then this comes on my darn pan. Look at that. Watch this. Come here, you. I got it. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's number 2. Things are looking up, baby. You get back up there. Look at that. That is exciting. I bet you there's some more gold in the bottom of that thing there. I am not going anywhere. I'm going to stay right here. It's only not even 10 o'clock in the morning yet. Now I was about to leave. It's still raining pretty darn good, but I don't care. I'll take all my clothes off and sit here in my underwear and pan if I gotta. Yeah, maybe not. There's leeches around. So I'm going to continue working at this here. And I think it paid off to do the classification first before I did it in the pan. It's keeping that water a little bit cleaner than I think it would otherwise. So we're gonna start breaking some back here. That is just absolutely fantastic right there. I couldn't be happier. Rigby couldn't be happier either. That's right. Back in a bit. Gotta get that clay off all those rocks. And again, I'm just digging sideways, getting down to that clay and digging sideways a little bit. And the gravel's getting a little bit deeper on the outside bank over there. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we'll find out. All right, I did one pan out of that second pail that I have. It's still, I don't know, a quarter full of material over there. Here's what I got. Another nice piece. Look at that baby. Things are looking up for Flourgoldwizards, that's for sure. That's a nice piece. I can feel it too. I might be able to pick that up, but I don't have time for that. I got to get busy over here. There's gold to be had. Back in a bit. Woohoo! All right, we're just about ready to leave. My back is just about gone. Well, we absolutely beat it up today. We got a ton of gold. I can't wait to get that thing home and get it over my cleanup sluice. But before we do that, I'm moving that rock. There's a nice deposit of gravels right behind it in there, packed up tight against that bank, which is telling me there's some really good flow issues going on right here. And you know, if you can dig around a big boulder, I would think that would be a good spot to look. So sore back be it, I'm going to move that rock right now. Back in a bit. Ahem. That's a big one. All right, come on, you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right. Get on out of here. Yeah. There. Uh-huh. All right, now that me and Rigby have that big boulder moved right there, I'm going to classify one last pail down here. Now that's where that rock was sitting. So I'm going to take all the material that was upstream, this whole deposit right here, all the way around it, and I'll probably try to scrape the clay that rock was sitting on, because there's no gravel under there. I already checked. It's just clay like this right here. So I'll take a little bit of that, and then I'm going to work on that deposit right in there, because that rock was forcing the water in between it and that root system right there, which is why all that stuff's backed up inside of there. So we're going to go ahead and take a bunch of all this stuff here and do one more pail and see if we get anything special out of it. He's ready to go. Back in a bit. This is the gold that was under that rock. Look at that. Oh man, we are just on fire today. That might be another picker right there. Let me see if I can grab that sucker. There you. Well, maybe I can't get that one. But there's some nice gold in there. Look at them. Oh my gosh. That came right from underneath where I moved that rock, and I hardly got all that much material out of there. I mean, I scraped the top of the clay right here, maybe a foot back or so, and I went around it just a little bit, and I dug into that little deposit. I ripped all them branches and whatnots out of there, but there's still a ton of material to work in here. I don't know if I can leave. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna do one more. That is awesome. This is the best I think I've ever done panning, ever, anywhere, anytime. I'm doing another pail. That's it. Back in a bit. And the last quick pan of the day. Now we're really going to get out of here. We got some more nice pieces. Lots of them. Look at that. That is crazy. I can't wait to see what's in that red pail. That is going to be something. I know what you mean, Sammy Hagar. I'm not going to drive 55 either. Back in a bit. Now, just to give you guys a Well, a quick peek of what we've been doing here today. I've been sucking up a bunch of black sand and gold as I've been going. And I started doing a little bit more at the end because the gold here has just been crazy today. So let's take a little look. Oh my God, look at this here. That's what we got, just snuffering today. Look at the gold in that dang pan. Come on, you glare, get out of here. Holy smokes. Including that picker right there. Look at that, I'm gonna pick it up again. I got it. That is fantastic. And I think there's one more in there I might be able to get in my fingers too. Maybe not, I can't quite feel them. But there's, oh my God, there's a buttload of gold in there. Look at that. And let me set that off to the side there. Oh, that's awesome. And I got about, I don't know, an inch deep of black sand in there to go through. We're gonna be weighing some gold. Look at me, I'm filthy. I got mud all up and down me. All right, we're gonna get in the truck and do 100. Back in a bit. Somebody's tired. Yeah. We made it back to the shop. There's Mrs. Wizard and Moose. Rigby's all running around in the yard. First things first. Ice cold brewski. We just turned a 4-hour ride into 3.5. All right. I've got all my concentrates, my black concentrates in this pail right here. I dumped out the mud water, and I'm gonna go ahead and strain that through a kitchen strainer here and pan the bigs and pan the littles because we got some bigs today. There's my stuff, and I got some help. So let me get this stuff situated here. Pick it back up in a minute. Back in a bit. All right, here's all the gold from the bigs right here. Nothing. Miss Wizard's getting ready to feed the sluice. We got all the littles. That container right there. We got our baby sluice up and running. Go ahead and feed right up on top in there. Yeah, just like that. All right, that won't take long at all. Junior Miss Wizard's here. So we're gonna feed this stuff through there. Looks like it's running relatively good. I got a nice roiling action in those cavities there and those little drop riffles. I think we'll try this a little bit. If anything, I might have to turn it up just a hair. But so far, so good. I already see some gold up in there. Nice. Back in a bit. Yeah, we're about half done here. Maybe not quite half. But look at the gold showing up in there. Oh, is this going to be awesome? That is plus what I snuffered up that I dumped out in the field today. It's going to be one of the best. Back in a bit. While they're over there doing that, I just want to show you quickly the 4 bags I added to my Patreon prizes for the month, and that's going to be in a couple of days on the 15th. We got our first place, second, third, fourth, and a lottery. All right, there's a 1921 painted coin for a lottery. There's Wizard Dirt, Black Poison Dirt, and Rigby Dirt in certain amounts in these prize packages here. And I went ahead and added 4. You get sand from 3 of my pair of boots, sand from my shop floor, sand from my driveway, and sand from the floor of my truck. That's awesome. Back in a bit. P.S. It's Moose's birthday today. He didn't get to go, but he gets a nice beef stick for his birthday. Happy birthday, little buddy. He's 7. Yeah. Hey, you'll get one too, geez. We got it. We're done. Got it all cleaned up and in this black pan. Look how well we did today. I've got a few of those larger bits off to the side right here. I'm going to grab my macro lens, which is hanging right here. I'm going to go ahead and stick that right on my camera here, and we'll take a look at those babies. Look at that. Those are some nice chunky little pieces. And indeed, that is a picker right there. I picked that baby right on up. Awesome. But yes, we absolutely got lots and lots of gold today. I'm not going to weigh that stuff. That's going right in my little jar right here where my other picker is. Right here. My first picker in Wisconsin's right in there. We're going to throw all that right in there with that. I might even do something special with this jar when I get it filled up to how much I want to. So that's a wrap for that. Back in a bit. And that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of Flourgoldwizards. We went out and had a great time today with every intentions of running my big sluice to find big gold. But it didn't pan out that way. So we just changed up the plan a little bit. And just by looking around and test, we found another Wisconsin picker, and I couldn't be happier about it. And a lot of that is attributed to you guys in the comments. I've been learning as I go, and I've been learning from the comments as you guys are commenting. We've got some great Patreon prizes. I hope you really dig the shop floor dirt and all that stuff. That'll be in a few days. So until the next episode, like, share, subscribe. Please do leave a comment. It helps build my channel. Flourgoldwizards, out.